I said, you know what, was it worth it? And I found out, you know what, I have to be me, you know, so that's why I smile, I laugh, I joke, I sleep, I eat. I do a lot of things that people before a game don't do, so when people say, man, how you do that? And I can't tell you, every day is different. I mean, this week I might listen to music, this week I might sleep. This week I may not sleep as much, so it's a difference in what I do. So it's no rhyme or reason, but it's just how I feel. And I'm a spirit of the moment type of guy. I go and do when I feel, and as long as it's the right thing, that I think we all can enjoy that. So I just want to, like I said, once again, I want to thank all of you for coming out here and supporting. Thank you, special thanks to Surf, man. It's amazing the work that you do. Last thing before I open up the questions is, you know, I have a beautiful wife and 3 kids, and I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for my family, for my wife. You know what, every day I wake up, you know, I just want to see them smile. I want them happy. It's not about me, you know. And I told them, I had an interview a long time ago, I say, if my wife and my kids say, Daddy, I want you to stop playing, I'll drop it in a heartbeat, because my family means more to me than playing a game of football. So. Family at home, and they make me who I am today. The only thing I do is worry about football, and I let them enjoy their time, because I know how it is, and I know what it feels like to grow up poor and not able to have. And I always said, and I told my father when I was 4 years old that I wanted to play at this level. I wanted to play NFL football. And I promised myself that I would do everything in my willpower for my kids not to have the lifestyle that I had. And you know what? I'm doing pretty good right now. So. For your time, and it was awesome coming out, supporting. I had a great time with everybody in here. And even though I'm leaving, but like I said, that's for 2 years. My heart is always in Noonan, believe that. 11 years down the drain. That's and you know, I love being here. That was one of the things, and the toughest thing for me was to walk away from my locker room, to walk away from my teammates, I think, and the fans and the organization, my coaches, guys who've been with me when I was a rookie, guys who drafted me, Bill who drafted me when a lot of teams passed up on me. He saw something in me. Those are the memories that I'm always have. And you know, my teammates, and they're always a phone call away. So that was probably one of the toughest things I ever had to go through. Was leaving that locker room, and you know, I kind of got down on myself, and I kind of thought about retiring and just right off in the sunset.
No, man, no.
I didn't.
JJ's not gonna let you retire.
No, I'm not retiring for a little bit more. So
just don't hit too hard when you come to New England.
No, we'll be fine. Trust me.
You and JJ Watts are going to make a great team.
I hope so.
Yep.
So,
Don't make him. They really are.
Don't feel bad when we beat you next year.
I'm not going to trash talk. And with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. Let me have it.
I want to thank you, first of all, for being such a good role model for kids. That's one thing that we've always said about you, and a lot of Patriots. But I'm really curious to know, when you look at your schedule and there's a week coming up, which team do you feel most excited to play, and which team do you get, I know you say you don't get nervous, but which team do you feel like this is going to be tough?
Every year is different. And to be honest with you, I never look at the schedule before during training camp. I wait till we get like around the 3rd preseason game. After that 3rd preseason game, that's when I kind of look at the schedule and go through and see what we have. But as far as now, I don't know. The only people I know we play that's in the big division. So But being in New England, when you know you have Denver on the list, you have Indy on the list, you have Baltimore on the list, so it's like, okay.
The New York Jets.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Oh.
So I mean, it's some teams that you play that you know they're going to always give you a fight. And normally those teams come within your division because you play twice a year, you know each other, you've been doing it for so long. So to me, I think those are the toughest games besides when you're in the postseason. The postseason is a whole different ball game. Now you're talking about the best of the best. Get to the Super Bowl, now you're talking about you got to be on your best behavior. You have to do everything. In the Super Bowl, you got to kind of do everything right. Because when you get that high at that level, it's not too many. Those two teams that's there, they got there because they know how to play ball and they don't hurt themselves. So in a game like that, you might have 2 or 3 mistakes in a game, and that's a lot.
Like the pass to Butler.
So,
That was a hell of a game.
but you know what? A lot of times people can say, about the past, if they should have done this, they should have done that. But we get paid to play.
Yeah.
Coaches get paid to coach. So you never know what would have happened if they would have handed the ball off.
Right.
You never know.
Right,
So,
that's
You
right.
stop the beast. You
exactly. So we did our jobs. We did.
Yeah, you did.
Did our job.
They were afraid of you. They were afraid of you.
Can you share with us some of the maybe life lessons you've learned from being in the NFL and the Patriots organization?
One of the main things I learned, and I learned it early in my career, is I'm a type of person, I used to wear, my heart on my sleeve. I mean, I was a bad boy in the league early on, and it got me in some trouble. I got fined a lot of money, and then it was, I would go to work, I would be pissed off, and go home and be pissed off again. And it was one day I came home upset, and I just started arguing about something. And I tell you what, Bianca let me have it. She let me have it. And from that day forward, I said, you know what? I will never bring work home in a negative manner. No matter how bad of a day I'm having at work, when I leave the facility, work is done. Because I go home, I see my beautiful kids. They're innocent. They smiling, they're happy to see daddy. They don't care about how many laps I had to run. How many they don't care about that. The only thing they happy to see daddy. And what I was doing, I was coming home and they would see me and they was like, what's wrong there? I asked Bianca, what's wrong with daddy? And that kind of bothered me. So right then, that was early in my career, I said, you know what? I'm not doing that again. So when I come home, I'm the happy, loving father and husband. That's one of the main things I learned, especially in my household, playing the game.
Who's your favorite offensive lineman to ever go against?
Nick Mango. I think he's the best game. He's the best guy to play that position. I mean, he's legit.
Hi, Vince. I'm married into a football relationship. I never watched football a day in my life before. 8 years ago, I looked at my husband, looked at the sports he played.
Live on Mars? Where?
I can tell you, I did not. It was football, baseball, hockey. I basically spun the wheel and it landed on football. He got his season tickets back, and I go to as many games as I can in the good weather. I am there in the rain for you. I am going to miss you, but I want to know, what are you looking forward to going forward? What are you looking forward to? So I'm going to be watching you. I'm going to continue to be one of your favorite teams. Not stalker watching. But I'm going to change camps. Every time you play, I want to watch. I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to wait for you to come back, because I have to say you have been one of my favorite players. I don't know all of the other favorite players, and I have very few jerseys. Very few.
One of the main things that I want, and it's funny, my wife just asked me this, what is my goal for this year? And I told my goal is to continue to play at a consistent level and to help this organization win ball games. Going to a new organization, I don't know exactly how they do things. We haven't started yet, so I really don't know. I haven't talked to anybody. It's a new locker room, so a lot of that have to come with just sitting down and knowing each individual. And I think, and I learned, I do a lot of thinking, and I always thinking about leadership, what I can do to be a better player, better teammate. And one thing I always notice is a great coach is somebody that can understand an individual. We play football under one umbrella, it's football, but you coach the defensive line, you play defensive line. But I think a great coach have 10 defensive linemen and he know each one of them individually. He know their strengths, their weaknesses. So you can't really coach everybody the same. So that's my goal. My goal is to get in there, see those guys and understand what they need from me. How can I help them? And some, it may be different, it might not be different, but that's my main goal. And from there, I will set goals after. Last question, they say it better be a good one.
What's one of your best memories that you'll take with you of you and Coach Belichick?
That's a good one.
You know what? I remember when I was a rookie, and we was having a practice called situational practice, which he'll put us in certain situations, and we got to go out there and we got to perform in that situation. So I'm sitting really not knowing, understand, okay, 22 seconds, man, what I mean, just do this and do that, I mean, it's a big deal. And he would tell us all the time, he said, you never know when it's going to come up, but it will come up eventually. And we would work on this every week. Every week we would work on this. And we got into a game, and I can't remember who we were playing, but the situation was going to play out. And I'm sitting and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, this is going to happen. We didn't have no timeouts. We was down by like 1 or 2. We was in field goal range.
Probably the fourth quarter.
It's the fourth quarter, and it was to win the ball game, and the ball was on the 35-yard line. And in the NFL, that's the cutoff. 35-yard line, I mean, that's where you want to be. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, holy crap, we've been going over this. And here it goes, we waved the towel, and the seconds, I'm just looking at the seconds go down. And it hit 22. Everybody runs on the field. The field goal team, offense, off field goal on. And we got to get set up real quick. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going down. This is it. And we kicked the ball and we won the ball game. So I'm like, holy crap. That's when I said, you know what? Bill is a genius. That was my rookie year, and I was like, you know what? I would never doubt him again. As long as I live.
Thank you.
Probably the best one.
Thank you.
Awesome.
One last one, right here. This is my baby.
No, one more. Who deflated the ball?
You've talked so much about being so human and being such a wonderful person over and above a football player and a member of our favorite Patriots. What I have not heard you speak of, and I would like to give you the opportunity, having family members that are diabetic, all of your work with your Diabetes Foundation.
Yeah, I mean, where diabetes touched with me is I lost my father at age 48, diabetes complications of diabetes, and I ended up losing my mother 6 months apart. And diabetes was the main factor in my father. My mother was never really came back from a stroke and had a heart attack. And I was 20 when my father passed. And I was 21. So my father passed June 5th, a day before my mother's birthday.
Oh my God.
And my mother died, and my birthday is November 4th. So 20,
Everybody
birthday,
jot
21.
that down.
And my mother
Get the address
passed
for the text.
December 16th. So here I am in college, and a lot of, if you read up on me, a lot of people don't know this. I actually quit football after my mother passed. And